And complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time. All the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.
The devil released. That is Motley Crue with Red Hot, and there is a Red Hot series on Hulu.
Sure.
That tells the story of Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson, or Pamela, as Borat would say.
Right.
And you recommended that I watch this thing in order to give some commentary tonight. And I did my homework. And I did as you asked.
Okay.
And I did watch the 3 episodes that are available on Hulu.
Okay.
This morning, just to see what was going on. And I got a lot of questions.
All right. Fire away.
Well, first of all, I'm going to let you kind of set this up, because I know that this was something that, in the back of your mind, you were just thinking, holy shit, this is going to make a good segment, or I want to talk about this, because you mentioned at the beginning of the show that you wanted to do your Chris Aiken Presents with some sort of review. But for those of you who don't listen to that or haven't watched Chris's video series,
sure,
we'll talk about it now. But what stood out for you watching this to think that you and I should have a conversation regarding this thing?
Well, first and foremost, there's a million things that really stand out about this bag of shit. And that's the first thing, is that it's a bag of shit. I can't fathom that Hulu, that has big money and are owned by Disney, for fuck's sake, can't invest enough money to make this even tolerable. This fucking special sucks. It's so bad. Looks bad. Acting's bad. Script is bad. Everything about this thing is bad. And we'll get to the one part in a minute, but the overall vibe. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I have fucking beat my dick 10,000 times to fucking that video. I love that video. Nothing is sexier to me than watching Pamela Anderson suck cock. She's a fucking terrific cocksucker and fucks like a fucking maniac.
She fucks like a beast.
She does.
Okay.
She has, or at least had at that time, fantastic skills. She was absolutely fucking great. And I personally had interest in this. Not a ton, like I wasn't going to buy it per se, but for nothing, for having a Verizon phone, I get Hulu for free. So it's like, fuck, I'll give this a watch.
I want to put this in context.
Mm-hmm.
This Tom and Pam video that was released,
sure,
quarter century old already.
I know. Yeah.
And full disclosure, I've never seen it.
Well, you're missing out. I will say it's all the clips are available on Pornhub.
I'm sure they are. I've never seen it. Not even 1 second of it. I not that I'm opposed to it, but I've never seen it.
It's well worth the watch if you're going to be trolling for porn anyway. There's nothing better than seeing, at the time, the hottest chick on the planet just getting railed. And I mean, it's graphic. It's not It's not mild. I mean, it's literally Tommy digging into her pussy with his fucking camera while he spreads her pussy open and sticks his big dick in her.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it's as raw as you could possibly. It's as raw as a porno could be.
Sure.
But it's Pamela Anderson.
But it's very natural because it was all spontaneous and it was real.
Yeah.
And it wasn't an acting job. It was just like, this is what we're doing. We're fucking like we're fucking like animals.
Yeah, and it was cool. I always thought it was cool. You know, Howard Stern interviewed them after it first came out, and he took a lot of flack for saying that he thought it was like more or less a love story with fucking in it, and I agreed with that at the time. I bought the tape. No full disclosure, I bought it.
You purchased it?
I purchased it, absolutely.
Now, mind you were fully married at this time.
Yeah.
And knowing what we know about your former spouse, how did you? And I'm going to use a cliche term here.
Yeah.
How did you get away with it?
I'll tell you exactly how I did. 3 words: P.O. Box.
And how did you pay for it?
I paid for it with a debit card, and I was the manager of the money at the time.
All right. So the wife had no access to your records at all.
Nope. She didn't. I mean, she wouldn't have looked. There's nothing for her to look for.
I'm just asking the question. I'm not, again, but knowing your personal circumstances and the environment you lived in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she would have lost her goddamn shit if she knew I bought it.
It would be like if you called her a cunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason Lundgren in the chat room likes it when I scream like a woman. But the fact is that you were a very, very married man at the time.
Yes.
And you had a very reactionary wife.
Yes.
And you somehow find it within your soul or your spirit to actually order this video.
Yep.
Now, at what point or where or how were you able to view this video?
Okay, I viewed it when she wasn't home, obviously.
Well, you had children as well, so
they always were with her. She would always take them when she would go, like, there's plenty of viewing opportunities because she would take them to church, and she's at church and I'm beating my dick to Tommy and Pam.
So on a Sunday morning while the wife was away, with the children in church, worshiping God and Jesus and our Creator, you were at home watching the Tommy and Pam video, beating your dick on the couch.
Just shooting loads all over my couch.
Well, that is a full disclosure, Mr. A.
You want the truth? I'll tell it.
I'm going to try to paint this picture here.
Yeah.
Using India Aria's description, I like the way that my white hand melts with my white dick.
That's right.
Skin on skin. I can't tell where my hand ends and my dick begins.
That's right. So true in this case.
All right.
Pink head penis shooting my load. Fuck yeah. I would sit right there, and back at that time I had the big screen TV, like the old school big screen TV. And it was just, you think Tommy Lee's dick is big watching fucking porn. You ought to see it when it's fucking 15 times the normal size. Holy shit, that guy has a lot of cock.
Now, mind you, 1995, 96, when this thing came out or was available.
Yeah.
Big flat screen TVs were not available at that time.
No, I had the old school, big, giant 6 foot tall monster.
So you had the projection TV?
It was like, I don't think it was projection, like from a wall or something.
It was like a CRT?
Yeah.
All right.
Not CRT. No, it wasn't. It was the kind that when you put your hand on it, it has like the little ridges in it. The screen does. I guess that's a projection screen.
Yeah, it's a rear projection screen.
Yeah, it was a 65-inch.
All right. Well, so that was a rear projection screen TV.
Yeah, I paid $3,500 for it. It was the biggest purchase I ever made in my marriage.
Oh, where did you get $3,500 knowing
tax
that
return?
You've been a broke dick all your life until you started, doing your own thing.
In my own responsible way, tax return.
Now, how did you now see this is fascinating to me because I have eliminated any of these obstacles or hurdles in my life.
Yeah.
How did you get away with ordering or purchasing a $3,500 rear projection television screen when you were a married man with 3 children who depended on you for their sustenance?
Sure, I can explain this too. Easy
I would
peasy.
love to hear this. I would love to hear this.
The year before, I bought her, and it was with I had an aunt that died, and she left me like $15,000.
Really?
Yeah.
See, this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah, well, it's because it didn't stay long. And of course, again, me being responsible, I put it right in the bank so that it would be available to go and buy her an $11,000 bedroom set.
What?
Which
you
she
spent $11,000?
I did.
What kind of a bedroom set do you like, Jimmy? I'm an oak man myself.
It was
your uncle Marcellus would like you to have some new furniture.
Well, I put the money out. It was all hand carved. It was imported from Italy.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, it was the shit. I didn't care that she took a bunch of shit, and I really didn't care that she took the bedroom set.
Well, why would you?
But I wish I kind of still had it because it really was nice. It was nice.
Wow.
I mean, dude, it was. You've been to my shitty house.
Yes, yeah,
it was
$11,000 for a bedroom set.
It was the one shining room in an otherwise shitty house.
Wow. See, this is all new to me. After knowing you for almost 30 years, I've never heard this story.
Oh yeah, I bought her this $11,000 for birthday.
Are you shitting me?
No,
I don't think I've ever purchased anything from a furniture standpoint.
No,
for $11,000,
dude. And if I remember right, and my numbers could be a little off, but I might have used the balance that I had from that $15,000 to buy your car from you.
Is that right?
I think it's at the same time frame.
Well, at least I sold you a good car.
Yeah, until she wrecked it, but that's a whole nother issue.
Right?
That's a whole nother issue. But yeah, I did. I definitely was a certain kind of rich, and I fucking flaunted it and just.
What are you saying? Are you Joe Rogan rich?
I am. Yeah, I'm Rogan rich.
Are you India Aria rich?
No, I'm Rogan rich. I like Rogan rich.
All right.
I was Rogan rich at the time.
This is enlightening to me.
Yeah.
I'm really fascinated.
Well, there it is. I mean, that's the story.
By this whole story.
So that's so we'll fast forward past that. I had bought her that for her birthday.
Yeah,
which is also my birthday.
So she got you purchased a very expensive bedroom suit.
It's what she wanted
for her birthday.
Yeah, it's what she wanted.
Now, aside from, and now be honest, what did you get in return?
Head.
That's it?
Probably. I don't know.
Did she swallow it?
No, not at that point.
So you blew a load, but she didn't even swallow.
No, I don't know. To be honest, I never gave a fuck what she did with it once it's out of my dick. I really could care less. Once it's out of my dick, do whatever you want with it.
That was an $11,000 blow job.
I'm sure it was more than that, but as far as I'm sure, I'm putting it this way: I didn't get anything crazy out of it. It's not like she all of a sudden,
But did she stop bitching at you?
That's not true.
So it didn't, extinguish the fire.
No, not at all.
Oh my God.
So,
Wow. No way. All right. See, this is a whole new thing. This is a whole new facet. I never heard this story before. I never knew that you had received some kind of an inheritance and you blew it on the wife for an expensive bedroom suit.
I did. I absolutely did.
Oh my God, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, not smart. I'm look. And meanwhile, I was making 30 grand a year. Certainly that could have helped my life for 2 fucking years or 3 fucking years. But now let's buy a bedroom set.
Wow. And what was going through your mind? If I get her this, she'll leave me alone?
Dude, I don't know. I
mean, really,
I don't know.
Well, try to think back.
I have no idea. At that point in my life, I didn't even realize I was in a bad relationship. I just thought this is what you do.
Yeah, this is what you do. For what reason? Because you go, you know what? If I get her this $11,000 bedroom suit, maybe I could buy some time to get her off my back about.
Dude, you think in regimented thought.
I do.
I don't think in regimented thought.
And I've been accused of that. I have been told that ever since I was a very young person, that I'm very regimented in the way that I do things.
Dude, anybody that's been married for a long time will tell you, you just do shit. Sometimes you just, believe me, there was a time after I bought the TV and after I bought the bedroom set that I was fucking broke dick and almost losing my house. And I was like, why did I fucking spend all that money on this shit?
I love this story. I'm not reveling in your
it's cool.
I'm not reveling in your misfortune or anything.
No, it's cool.
But just the thought that Chris Aiken took 11,000 of the 15,000 he received in being left an estate.
Sure.
And you spent it on a wife.
Yeah. That I didn't even like.
This is just unfreaking believable.
Dude, I didn't learn how to fucking stand up for myself to a chick until I got single.
Well,
that's just the truth.
I mean, we heard about fucking a ham, and we heard about throwing baloney on girls' asses, and we heard about all that kind of shit. This is the first time I've ever heard the story.
Yeah, dude, I have stories for years. I still have so many more stories to tell.
I think our fans would probably just sit there and go, "Holy shit, dude. This is just like unbelievable."
Dude, quite frankly, there's at least another book's worth of shit that you wouldn't fucking believe that I have not told even on the show. It never stops, man. So anyway, I buy the bedroom set.
Yes.
So a year goes by. Now I had at the time I had a the old school console television set.
Yeah. The big thing with the speakers on both sides.
Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe 19 inches total.
It was 27. I had the big giant one.
Wow,
I had
You had the big thing. It weighed 200 pounds.
Oh, thing was so goddamn heavy.
Yeah, of course.
But what ended up happening was my fucking kids had
my fucking kids.
Look, in this one, they earned the title, My Fucking Kids. I
love this.
They took their toys and how you had the speakers and you either had a hardcover or you had like the soft black material cover.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
they're called scrims.
Well, these had the scrims that were not removable.
Yeah.
You couldn't take them off. Like, even if you had to replace a speaker, you had to take the whole goddamn TV apart and then go through the inside to replace a speaker. You couldn't just pull the scrim off and take the speaker out.
Right.
My fucking kids took their toys, cut holes in the shit, and filled it with fucking Cheerios and fucking Rice Krispies and all kinds of shit, to where then the TV was just all fucked up.
Oh.
So we were talking about getting a new TV because the TV, you'd listen to it and it sounded just like what you would think, a blown speaker. It just sounded like shit and it was bad. And, this was all Jordana and I did at the time was I would work, I'd come home, I would hit the whatever video store on the way home, rent 2 movies, and we would sit there and watch fucking movies. That was our life.
Wow.
That was our fucking joyous life I was living. And, so having a good TV was important And I got this tax return.
That statement alone, having a good TV was
important.
I think you need to entitle this segment called "Having a Good TV is Important."
Well, we may just do that. We'll see where it goes, but no. So I got this tax return.
Yes,
and with my earned income credit and childcare credits and all that bullshit on top of my fucking making no goddamn money.
Right.
I got a $3,500 tax return.
Okay.
And I convinced her by using last year we got you something. This year it's my turn card.
So it was the whole guilt trip thing.
It was. I played it. Last year was your turn. This time it's my turn card. And we went over to Best Buy and bought the fucking TV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's how I ended up with the projection screen. It's a long process to get there, but
I love this story, dude.
It's a long process. But
you were in a living hell.
Oh yeah,
dude,
and didn't know it. And that's the part that's the most sad to me. It's not that I was I could almost live with the fact if I knew it. It's that I look at it and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? Why didn't I see that? And to be honest, I've actually asked her about this since. She's in the same boat. We fucking hated it too. She hated what we were doing. She hated me and her, but she didn't have it in her to fucking break up either. Neither one of us realized how fucked we were in our relationship.
Wow.
It just was, it was so fucked that we thought that being fucked was normal. And that's the way we lived on this normal fucked relationship.
Just went to the courthouse and just had your name changed to the fucks.
Dude, I'm telling you.
And Georgetta the fucks.
I'm telling you, other than the last.
On your mailbox.
Yeah, should have been. Other than the last 2 years of the relationship, I didn't even realize I was in a bad relationship.
Oh my God, dude.
And that's the truth. Other than the last 2 years where it just finally overtook me, where I couldn't, and I think I've told this before, but up until that point, I literally maintained like almost 2 Chris Aiken lives.
Wow.
There was the Chris Aiken that goes out and party, and that guy. You knew that guy then.
Well, that's when I met you.
Yeah, and when I was out, forget it. I was on fucking fire. I was the wild card.
Well, you were just doing what Chris Aiken would do if you were acting like yourself.
Right. And then I came home and was the other Chris Aiken.
Wow.
The wife and kids and family. And
hi, my name is Chris. I'm the fuck Aiken.
Yeah, it was like, well, what can I do to make the wife happy? What can I do to make the fucking family happy? What can I do, to keep a roof over our head? And
what can I do to keep my wife off my back?
Yeah, it really was. But as time went on, it just kept getting chipped away, to where at the end I was like, fuck you. I don't care. I don't get, dude. It's a classic story. I don't know if I wrote it in Victories or not. I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell it, but I'm going to.
Oh, wow.
Fucking a week before she broke up with me, that ended with the divorce. I was sitting on my couch working, as I always did, headphones on, because God forbid I played my music in the house. That was a taboo. God forbid a Megadeth song would play.
I hope you weren't playing NWA, because that'd be racist.
Oh no, that was right. And black metal raised lives matter. You're absolutely right. I'm not kind of a cuck, total cuck, total fucking cuck. I'll admit it. I will totally admit it.
I love it.
I don't give a shit if I admit I was a total faggot. First one to fucking admit it. I'm not gonna pretend I wasn't.
Oh goddamn.
But anyway, the way this story works, she comes in from work or store. I think it was a store. And she sits down next to me and she's just talking. And I really didn't give 2 flying fucks what she was talking about. I hated her. And I was like, she's talking, and she's trying to get me to engage in the conversation about whatever she bought at Walmart or whatever the fuck it was. And I just slid my headphones on. I just was like, I don't want to hear you. So I just pulled my headphones over my ears and just basically, without saying it, I just was like, fuck you, go away. And she told me that was the exact moment she knew that she had to fucking split. And she's right. She didn't do me nothing but a favor by leaving, even though it fucking sucked to leave. It sucked getting through it, but she did me nothing but a favor because we were both fucked, That's one of them things, dude. It just was bad.
Yeah. Well, that's when you go before the judge and say, hello, judge, we're the fucks.
Yeah.
You might as well just change your name to the fucks.
We were
Chris and Georgetta Chris and Georgetta fucks.
Yeah, Chris and Georgetta fucked. It's fucked because we were fucked. Jeez. Everything about our relationship was fucked. We did not get along on anything. Nothing.
Well, I witnessed some of that myself. I saw it myself and I got it. Yeah. But man, to me, if I had to live my life like that day after day, you know what? When I was a young guy, I got married at 21. I was divorced by 24.
Yeah.
When I was married and I was 20, I don't know, 23. Right. And I thought, there is no fucking way I am going to live the rest of my life this way. And I made up my decision that, even though it was taboo in my family to get divorced, I was the first one in my family ever to be divorced.
Sure.
Because that was such a dirty word back then.
Yeah.
I was just like, there is no way I am going to endure this for the rest of my life. I have got to get out of here. I don't care what my family says. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care whatever. I have got to get out of this.
Dude, and I wish I had that at that time because I swear I should have broke up with her at about the 2-year mark. And I stayed 23 fucking years. But I mean, honestly, man, and this is going to sound cheesy and dumb, especially coming out of me, but it is what it is. I would have never left. If she hadn't broke up with me, I'd still be married to her. No question.
Well, here's the thing, and not that this is a factor in any way, shape, or form, but we've talked about this on the show a bunch of times about how I had this, thought that you were going to return to the show regardless of what the conditions were.
Yeah.
I always knew that about you because I knew you as a free spirit.
Sure.
And I didn't know what the future was going to bring, but I knew somewhere down the road you were going to return to the show.
Sure.
I didn't know when. I didn't know what the timeline was. I didn't know if it was going to be a year, if it was going to be 6 years. I had no idea. But the thing is I knew you well enough to know that between you and I as friends and partners and radio show hosts and stuff, this is undeniable. And it was just like, this guy's going to come back. I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how, but you're going to come back.
Well, and you can thank her. You can thank her because quite honestly, dude, I'm telling you, I would have never broke up. As dumb as this sounds, as fucking lame or cuckish or whatever fucking label you want to slap on my back, I really don't care. I'm just being honest here. I would have lived up to me to go before a judge and God and all that other bullshit that you do in court or in for me it was a JP, but with a judge and swear that I would be there, sickness, health, better, worse, whatever. There's no way was I going to sacrifice my integrity to not honor something I committed to. There's no way I was going to do it. I thought about it 150 fucking times. I'm not going to look. It's not that I didn't think about leaving. It's that I always came back to, I can't look myself in the fucking mirror if I fucking don't honor a commitment that I made. No matter how bad it was, no matter how stupid it was, that is what I fucking did. And I would have, I'm telling you, I'd still be with her today.
Yeah. I'm not going to doubt that for you, about you, but holy shit.
It was awful. It was awful.
That is a hard way to live a life.
Dude, I was content to fucking die.
Oh,
I was literally content to just sit there on my couch until I dropped fucking dead
wow.
of misery.
Yeah, blowing loads to Pam Anderson and Tommy Lee
Dude,
on Sunday morning while the wife and the kids were away at church.
let me just tell you, and it wasn't just Pam and Tommy. I have the Bret Michaels stuff on it's on a CD that I downloaded fucking super slow.
Wow.
I downloaded the Pam and Brett stuff as well, because again, I was infatuated with Pam Anderson.
Yeah, well,
And-
who wasn't at that time? I mean,
Of
again,
course.
we're talking 25 years ago.
Yeah. But I had that stuff in my CD books listed as a band name. I literally put a band name on a CD and it has porn on it.
Well, that's like somebody who has their cell phone and they have like their secret chick's number,
Yeah,
but
of
they
course.
listed under John Robertson or something like that under their cell phone. What do you want to call that? What is that? The where you have all your numbers and your people, your
contacts. Yeah,
your contact list, but it's your secret chick. It's under John Roberts.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's exactly it. And that was me. I had porn shit. And I've told the story before about having the magazines, put in the speakers and everything else. Cause I took apart speakers and I put Penthouse and Playboy in that shit in the fucking speaker. So I'd have it.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. And I admire your perseverance, but if I had to walk into my house every day and have to pretend to be, something that I'm not.
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah, of course you do, because you're trying to change who you are or just pretend something that you're not, and just to go along or go with the flow, as it were.
Yeah.
In order not to have any kind of consternation or what do you want to call just where you're at odds with somebody.
Oh, dude, it was misery.
I can't go along to get along.
I don't even believe me at this point where there's a decade in between it. Don't think I don't look back for a minute and think, what in the flying fuck? I look at it now. I point to some. I don't know if I told this on the show or not, but did I tell the story about me and Kelly kind of having a fight right before Thanksgiving?
I think you may have alluded to it, but I don't think you really got into details about it.
This is the difference between then and now.
Yes.
Went over to her house. It was it was like kind of a late birthday dinner because I was obviously sick with COVID and I didn't go anywhere for a while. It was right before Thanksgiving, and I went over to her house for dinner, and she could not have been more crabby. I mean, she was just crabby. And I was in and out. I had dinner in, out, and gone under 2 hours.
I remember she made something, and you were just kind of picking at it. It's like,
I was eating.
You don't like this? You don't like that?
Yeah, and I was like, it's fine. I just not, I don't want to eat 3 plates of it.
Right.
It's like, oh, you don't like it then. I was like, but in the old days, that was just par for the course. Like, yeah, you're right. You're right. I do suck because I don't want to eat the fucking 3rd plate. Now it's like, okay, gotta go. Not going to put up with this kind of bullshit. I'm fucking gone. I don't put up with nothing. It's one of the reasons I like being solo, because I don't have to put up with anybody or anything anymore.
That's because you're selfish.
No. Georgetta made me hate relationships. I ain't gonna lie about it.
And you're just self-centric, and you don't care about anybody else. You won't let anybody else in.
Right. You're that part is 100% true. I don't want anybody else in.
Right.
I don't find value. See, this is the difference between then and now. Then I tried to pretend that there was value in the things that were supposed to be important. I tried to pretend that there was value in coming home to a wife and kids and a dog and a house and having a job and all that shit. None of that shit really had any value to me. If you be, even my kids, I love my kids. Don't get me wrong. I definitely love my kids. But at that time, raising kids, that had zero value to me. Zero. But it was more, that's what I was supposed to be doing. I was 30 whatever years old. I was supposed to be married. I was supposed to have kids. I was supposed to have a mortgage. I was supposed to raise kids. I was supposed to be the dad at the fucking art show telling my kid how good the ashtray was, and that's what I did. And I didn't mean it,
Right.
honestly.
Right.
I just did it. I played the game. And now I will not play the fucking game anymore.
Right. Well, because you're being true to yourself.
Yeah. And being true to myself tells me that any relationship that I could get into now, like anything more than casual, would be bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not even fully comfortable in casual. I'm really not fully comfortable in casual. To me, that feels like too much.
Right.
To me, getting a text every day is like, hey, what are you fucking doing?
You're crowding me here.
Yeah. And it could just be a simple text of, hey, how you doing? Why are you bothering me? I'm working. Right. What do you think I'm fucking doing?
Right.
It's like, leave me alone. And I fully put that on. That relationship with Georgetta was so fucking bad in my own head. Now that I've really processed every bit of it, that I can't go back. I keep hearing people that keep saying, oh, eventually you're going to change. And blah, blah. No, I'm not. I'm not going to all of a sudden be like, this would make it better and this would change. And if I met the right person, if I met the right person, they're never going to be more important than me. Sure. I'm highly selfish now because I was highly unselfish before, and it just made me want to put a fucking bullet in my skull. And I won't do it twice. I won't do it twice.
Wow.
And to be fair, I won't get hurt twice like that.
Yeah. This is quite the unburdening session here.
Hey, I'll tell it, dude. I have no shame.
Well, again, I'm not thinking that. I'm just thinking I wasn't expecting this because we were going to talk about the PAM.
We're going to be talking about Tommy's dick, huh?
But this is just amazing.
I'll tell it, dude. I have no part of, and this is a truism, and you can read this in Little Victories, a book by Chris Aiken, of course.
Right. Soon to be on Ron Keel's multimedia platform.
Exactly. But I did write about this in Little Victories. Was one of the things that I had to work very hard to change was being 100% upfront about everything, not hiding anything anymore, not letting it all fucking build up inside of me to where I was explosive all the fucking time. And dude, I mean, you knew me back then. I was fun to be around, but God forbid if you said the wrong word. Not you personally, but how many times did you see me almost get in fights or start fights with people and then other people would push them out of the way or whatever?
Yeah. Well,
that shit happened a lot.
You were kind of like on the hunt to get into trouble because
always,
to be honest with you, I think that you find satisfaction and pain.
Mm-hmm.
There
was it at that time.
Like if I could throw some punches and I maybe took a bloody nose or something, I found that to be exhilarating.
And there's very much truth to that.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I know.
I loved it. I love to fight, and I didn't mind fighting, but I certainly day to day, week to week, month to month, man, did the rage build up about everything.
Yeah, angry Aiken.
Everything from I can't even come home and just fucking chill out and watch what I want to watch. I got to come home to fucking whatever preacher guy she's watching on the fucking TV. No, it was who was it? Les something, a black dude. Les, I don't remember his name. Les something, but it was horrible. It was, and I don't want to make it sound like she was this fuking monster and I was good because I was a monster too.
Well, I'm not trying to paint that picture at all, but the thing is that I've known you for a quarter century. I've known you for about 25 years. and I've known some of the stuff that you've gone through, but holy shit, that is not a way to live a life.
No. Well, dude, you've known me through both periods. Not even the same guy, right?
No.
I mean, not even close. Not even, I mean, the only thing that's the same is I still say fuck and I'm still fat. But other than that, it's not the same fucking dude at all.
No.
You know, I marvel at how much I've been able to change and put it behind me and you know, and move on to where I'm actually happy. I enjoy fucking living day to day. I can't wait to wait. I don't want to go to sleep.
Well, again, before you got divorced or right after you got divorced, you were still in your depression phase.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And I was trying to, you know, coach you a little bit about, you know, being a single person and, you know, just kind of enjoying your life. You didn't quite grab the concept immediately. Not at all. because you were still looking for, well, the next chick. Because you got hooked up with a couple of different chicks
immediately. And
you know, I was just like, oh man, you know, why don't you just kind of discover who you are first?
Yeah. And I was like, no, dude. And the first one is the saddest one of them all, because, and luckily somehow we were able to break that off without absolutely caving it in. But the first one, Heather, you know, she literally was a carbon copy of Georgetta. Didn't like the fuck you, man. Was a churcher. Had me going to fucking church. I was going to church far from my house. I was going to church in fucking Bay Village every Sunday. You know, I was out running around with her out there. You know, so I had that one. And then when I figured out that wasn't good, I went the other way with Teresa that was, you know, 15 years younger than me. And then that really was a disaster. You know, that was like the ultimate disaster for me. But I met Teresa, or we started going out, and I moved her into my house in 10 days because I was still in that zone of, I wasn't trying to find a mate. I was trying to replace a hole.
Yeah. You were just like, well, this is a normal situation for me.
A normal situation is I got a warm ass body next to me when I'm asleep. And when I get up, there's someone there. That was normal. And that's what I was trying to, I guess, simulate, but it just didn't work. It took me a while. Yeah. And dude, even when my dad, and believe me, I ain't proud of any of this shit, but I'll tell it. My dad was in the hospital fucking dying of dementia and fucking, he had a hip replacement that went bad and got all infected and blah, 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 you know, got all fucked up.
Right.
And so he was dying of, what do they call that? The real bad infection.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't think of it. It starts with an S. I think.
Sepsis.
Sepsis.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a septic hip where they had to take all of his fucking hip parts out. Like they were going to replace it. But on the operating table, he had a fucking heart attack. So then they couldn't do anything. They couldn't put him on blood thinners. They couldn't replace the hip. So he literally was laying there with a bone of his fucking hip not connected to anything, the bone not connected to nothing. And he was going through dementia, so he couldn't remember from minute to minute why his fucking leg was fucked up and he couldn't stand up. You know, he's all fucked up, right? I'm in the middle of, I had just reacquainted with my parents. You know, I hadn't talked to them in 12 fucking years because we had a falling out. Again, the anger, you know, the anger thing kicking in full. I hadn't talked to them in 12 years. I had just started talking to them again. Then all this shit with my dad happened. I'm drinking a fifth of fucking vodka every single day. And then I'm going to the hospital because my dad was scared at night. But instead of the one thing that's missing in this picture, sleep. I'm not sleeping at all. I'm drinking. I'm doing yoga while I'm drinking. Then I'm still on the dating sites. I'm literally going 3-4 times a week on different dates with people, half drunk, driving to whatever restaurant to hear about their adventures of whatever. Then I leave them and go to the hospital and stay overnight with my dad. and then repeat, grabbing 30 minutes of sleep here, there, wherever I could find it. It was fucked up, man.
Yeah.
I was a mess for a while, for a good while. Dude, it's funny. I listened to the early stuff when I came back to the show, September or whatever of 12.
Yeah.
And I'm a complete wreck.
Yeah.
I can just hear it.
Unbelievably, that was 10 years ago.
I know. 10 fucking years ago. Mm-hmm. But when those segments come up on the archive stream or whatever,
right,
and I hear that, I'm like, I don't even know who that guy is. Dude, there's one, I hate it. It's an embarrassing one. I would never say take it off, but it really makes me crazy. There's one where I was drinking whiskey and wine at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And you were like, are you really drinking whiskey and wine? I was like, look.
You're mixing the two?
I was mixing the two, and I was just pouring it in. And I mean, dude, that first year when I came back to the CMS, I was drinking a fifth during every show. A fifth every show. I would come in here and I would just usually I was fucked up before I even started the show. You know, it'd be 9 o'clock. I'd already been drinking 3, 4, 5 hours. A lot of times I'd be out with John, me and John and Stephanie and AJ. We'd be out somewhere drinking our faces off. And I would be like, oh, I got to go do the show. Drive home drunk as fuck and open a new bottle of vodka. I'd open a new bottle of vodka. And I remember I used to, before I had this cup, I had the big green cup.
Yeah. That
was what was in the big green cup, was vodka and orange juice.
Jeez.
I was pouring it in.
Yeah.
Drinking like, and anybody that did the show here with me knows that. Jackal can attest to this in the chat room. Jackal was here.
Drinking the screwdrivers.
Jackal came over here one night to do the show. He brought a cooler with him and he thought that would be enough. He thought that would be like a reasonable amount. Fuck that. We drank everything in my fucking house. We drank all his beers. He brought like a 6-pack or whatever. We drank his 6, at least 12 more each of mine. Plus I was drinking mixed drinks. Plus we were doing shots of Jaeger.
Jeez.
We were, and this was, and still doing a show. Still somehow doing a show and not being like, you know, I don't know how. I don't have any idea how, but dude, did you ever see the pictures of when Hannon and Randy and Omam came here?
Yeah.
We built a wall to where we couldn't see each other of beer cans. Literally in the course of the show.
It was like 16 candles.
Yeah, dude, it was more like 65 candles, because I think we drank 3 cases of beer in 6 hours. It was fucking, and plus mixed drinks. We were just fucking pounding. That was my time. In that time I was in a lot of fucked up mental pain. I didn't know where to channel it. I didn't know how to channel. I'd never channeled anything other than through violence.
Well, that's because you were, you know, obviously in a familiar situation for a quarter century.
Yeah.
And then that got pulled out from under you and you're like on a whole new, you know, you're in a whole new territory. And now it's like, now what do I do? Right.
And I was trying to fix it and I didn't know how. And man, some of that shit, I mean, I look at it now and I'm just like, what the, you know, I'll go back even on, like, I'll look at the photos that I took of myself and I'm like, the fuck was I doing?
Yeah, but strangely enough, even through all that, you were still able to write a book.
Yeah. And build a business.
Yeah. That's the weirdest thing. You had all this self-destruction going on. But you were able to write a book about it.
Yeah.
Do this show and build a business.
Yeah. And run my other business.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, dude, I don't understand it. I don't understand how I got to the other side. I'm happy as fuck that I did, because it really shouldn't have happened. I should have been a washout. Honestly, you know, if the exact same scenario happened a second time with the exact same feelings, I probably do pull the trigger when I'm out back with the fucking judge. I probably would have been like, whatever, it's going to do whatever it does to my kid, boom, and blow my fucking head off. You know, luckily I didn't, you know, thank God for that. But Yeah, I mean, it was bad. It was definitely bad. And, now I'm happy now. So it's all good.
Well, you found your new level as Pantera
Pantera.
said.
Yeah. Of confidence and power. Exactly right.
Right. All right. Well, a very interesting, insight to what was going on with your life, almost, a decade ago.
Yeah. Crazy.
But here we are now, and we were talking earlier to start this segment off
Sure.
about the Pam and Tommy Lee show, or
right.
what is
miniseries?
It's a series, right?
Yeah, miniseries. Yeah.
All right. So there are 3 episodes currently available, which I watched this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm going to let you set this up as to what prompted you to say you need to watch this. We need to talk about this.
Real so I 2 things. One, the dick scene, which we'll get to second.
Okay.
But the real thing is like I was saying before, how can they have this much money and do everything possible wrong? This is just bad. And I know it's about a porn tape, so I mean, me expecting it to be fucking Sir Anthony Hopkins good is stupid, but I can't believe how poorly done this is. Can you?
Well, it does seem very amateurish.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem, well, it's about the same level of quality that you would expect, and this is not a knock on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
On our good friend Drew Fortier's movies.
I'd say that's fair. I mean,
done on about the same budget.
Well, it seems like it, but it wasn't. This thing had millions of dollars behind it.
Sure it was. But look at that photo alone.
Yeah.
The girl who portrays Pam Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on with her arm?
Oh, with the bruises?
Yeah, what's all that?
I don't know if that's supposed to be Tommy beating her, because Tommy did beat her up a bunch, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the only redeeming quality of this whole series, if you will, is the fact that they cast a girl who, in my opinion, she portrays a Pam Anderson pretty damn good.
Boy, does she ever.
She looks like her. She, just
moves like her.
Yeah, she's amazingly like Pam Anderson. She is a body double.
Yeah,
100%.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Now, the storyline, I want to know from, maybe you have some insight because I don't.
Okay.
Where did the storyline come from? Is this all just conjecture on the writer's part, or did they get this inside information from somebody, whether it's Tommy or
I mean, it's all out there. It's all been out there in the various over the years. I mean, the whole, like, none of this is too far from the reported stories of what happened. They crafted the script based on a couple of things. They crafted it off of interviews that the guy that Seth Rogen and the guy that Nick Offerman are playing have done. They crafted some of the scenes out of Tommy's book. Some of this, I think, came out of either interviews or a book that Pam did, so it was crafted out of all of the various reports.
It was a culmination of all the things that they kind of cobbled together to make a movie out of, or a TV show or a series out of, rather.
Mm-hmm. And, the one thing that, and this is such a minor part, but this stood out to me like a neon sign beaming in the darkness. Did you notice how they used all kinds of other 80s metal and 80s rock music, but not any Motley Crue?
Yeah, of course.
Because Tommy wouldn't sign off.
Well, why would you? Because again, is Motley Crue or Tommy Lee or anybody going to profit from this thing.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you would think that they could find a way to license some Motley Crue music.
Yeah. Well,
it is on Hulu. They could, if nothing else, just the plays alone would make them more money.
Well, you would think.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from my personal perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a fan of reenacted.
Yeah, I know you hate these.
I don't like reenaction of historical things that happen, regardless if it was, Tommy Lee or Pam Anderson or the JFK shooting or whatever the case may be. I just don't like reenactments.
Yeah, just show me the documentary. That's
if the real footage is out there, I would prefer to see that over somebody acting it out.
Right.
But obviously we can't see Tommy Lee or Pam Anderson acting out their parts in the bedroom or in the house or the reality of what really happened.
Sure.
We can only go by accounts of whether Pam Anderson gave an interview or whether Tommy gave an interview or whether the handyman gave an interview or whatever the case may be. But whoever wrote the script for this, as you put it earlier, that they probably wrote the script based on the accounts that were were made during any kind of an interview.
Yeah, they did. And I mean, it is what it is. And by the way, if you've never seen, dude, I'm gonna give you your first minute. Go look in the chat room. There's an actual clip from the movie. There's Pam sucking Tommy's cock.
Okay.
Well, I might say she's doing a nice job there.
All right.
And I could tell you, because I've watched this movie so many times, that would be on the boat. That is the boat scene.
All right.
I've watched that movie too many times.
Jesus Christ. I've never seen it. I've
watched it easily 500 times.
Okay.
Easily 500 times. And it's long. It's like an hour. It's not like it's like 10 minutes. It's a fucking long video, but it's a love story, Neeley.
All right.
But yeah, I was fascinated by how cheaply this thing was done. I was fascinated on the fact that they would use a guy that's 5'6" to be Tommy Lee. What is that about? Tommy Lee in this fucking show is shorter than Pam Anderson.
Yeah, I agree.
What is that? It's horrendous that they got this little guy being Tommy. And then the other thing and I guess it shouldn't bother me, but it does bother me. I know Tommy's a dick in real life, but I just didn't like seeing him being a dick. I just didn't like, the whole thing, like in the bedroom and yo, bro, I'm not going to pay for this. And I'm going to put the gun to your face. And, it's like, fuck this guy. It's like, I wouldn't have blamed the guy, the real handyman, if he went over and just shot him in the fucking head.
Well, I agree with that. But what we know about Tommy Lee's temper and his antics and acting out in public and stuff, it wasn't that far-fetched for me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't far-fetched, but I really hated him.
Well,
I hated him more watching this movie.
Well, but Tommy Lee, and again, I have no, allegiance to anyone pro or con. But from what's been reported, because obviously I don't know Tommy Lee from Adam.
Right. Okay.
What's been reported, and I've been to many Motley Crue shows over the years.
Me too. Yeah.
Tommy comes off as a really cocky dick.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He always does. And to see him to see this actor acting that way in this, this series, not so far-fetched.
No, I didn't say it was far-fetched. I said I didn't like seeing it. I just don't like, as I always like in Motley Crue lore, I guess, my fandom of Motley Crue, Tommy is the second coolest in the band. In my head. It goes Mick Mars, Tommy, and then a tie between Vince and Nicky.
Okay. Mr.
You know,
Nicky. That's
Mr. Nicky.
That's Mr. Nicky to you, sir.
And if I was pushed to break the tie, I'd probably go Vince then Nicky. But you know, I always want. I'll put it this way: I wanted to like Tommy Lee, and there was a part of me when he was banging Pamela Anderson and he was banging Heather Locklear, and you know, he was getting all this fucking tremendous pussy that I was like, right on, bro, good for you. You know, in the 90s, I was absolutely a Tommy fan because he was getting such good trim.
All right.
And I was a big fan of him because of that. But now to see what an absolute cunt fuck he was, you know, like even the scene where he's in the club and he's, you know, throwing the glasses around and shit and, you know, and yelling and screaming. It's like, man, if he was in a club I was in, I'd have fucking clotheslined his ass.
Of course you would.
You know, it's like, what an asshole.
Well, but because he's a self-entitled douche.
Yeah, exactly. But to see it, I guess, I think we always knew it, but to actually see it really, really made it worse.
Well, you know, the thing is when I saw these scenes in this show, I was just like, yeah, that's kind of how I envisioned him.
Yeah.
You know, and again, whether that's a true portrayal or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the thing is that when I saw it, it didn't affect me that way. It was just like, yeah, this guy's a dick.
Sure. No, I get it. Believe me, I'm with you.
Right.
But and speaking of dick, let's talk about the scene.
Well, wait, before we get there.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Before we get there, I want to talk about Seth Rogen's part in this.
His stellar acting
as the handyman.
Yeah.
This is the part I don't get.
Okay.
So Seth Rogen is part of this construction team that is doing this renovation in Tommy Lee's house.
Uh-huh.
And mind you, he claims in the movie that he's putting a lot of these expenses for materials and all this other stuff on his Discover card.
Right.
And he's maxed out.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes home to his apartment and his cable is shut off and he's got all these past due bills and he's basically about ready to be tossed out of his apartment from not paying rent or something.
Right.
You know, he comes off like a broke dick because he's spending, you know, thousands of dollars of his own money and not being reimbursed from Tommy Lee.
Right.
For all these expenditures. But then when he gets fired from Tommy Lee's house and he is planning out his revenge.
Yeah.
Then we see him at these various auto stores and stuff buying auto paint and spray guns and, you know, all this other expenditures. It's just like, well, he was like on his last dollar.
Yeah.
How did he afford gas? How did he afford to buy a spray gun? How did he afford the spray paint?
Right.
To paint his van to conceal him and all this other. Where did all this money come from all of a sudden?
Yeah, but he couldn't afford $50 for his cable bill.
Well, he couldn't afford $5 for caulk.
Yeah.
Remember, he had to buy caulk because he was pulling nails out of that bed.
Yeah.
What do you want to call it? A pedestal?
Yeah, the pedestal.
Yeah, he was building this pedestal bed thing at Tommy Lee's house, and then he had to buy this caulk to fill in where he was pulling nails out and chipping the wood and stuff, and he could barely scrounge up $6.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
You know, but then he's buying expensive spray paint and a spray gun and an air compressor, and he's spraying his van. Where did all that money come from?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, look, they took some creative liberties, I'm assuming.
Yeah, a lot of creative liberties. And here's the other stupid thing.
Okay.
This is more human nature than the movie is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets all pissed off and he punches the wall.
Yeah.
And he hurts his hand. He either breaks it or bruises it really bad or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
This guy in the movie, but the series, he does this a couple of more times.
Yeah.
At what point in your life, when you punch a wall and fuck up your hand, whether you break your fingers or just bruise it really bad or hurt yourself, do you think, hey, this is a good idea. Maybe I should punch the wall again?
Well, I'm going to tell you, this is why I know for a fact that you have zero rage in you ever. Because I've literally broken my hand doing it. And I've definitely put my hand through walls and through doors since I broke my hand. And I broke my hand. I punched a chair. My grandfather, me and my grandfather got in an argument and I fucking punched his chair and it had one of those wood backs on it and it broke my hand.
Yeah.
And that didn't stop anything.
So you even though you broke your hand at one point from rage punching inanimate object, you did it again.
Oh, 10, 15 times again.
Really?
Oh yeah.
At what point do you think, what, if I fucking punch this wall or I put my hand into a brick wall or whatever, it's going to fuck my hand up?
You don't. Dude, you don't think like that. You don't think like that. No.
Okay. I'm just
when you're in the middle. See, you don't know rage.
I don't know rage.
When you're raging, you don't give a fuck.
Really?
Dude, when I've been in my rage categories, I've gone and fought 3 fucking guys at the same fucking time. And then I don't think nothing about it until I come down from it. And I'm like, oh man, I think they broke my fucking ribs. You don't think about it. You look down and your knuckle is fucking jammed back to the middle of your fucking hand or whatever. And you're like, damn it. What the fuck was I thinking about?
So that's called blind rage.
Yeah.
All right.
That is blind. And I know I did that. I did that a bunch of times. And I know I'm not alone here. I mean, you get fucking, dude, I can't tell you how many fucking cars I had that had dents in them because I kicked or punched a car door. I used to do that a lot. That would be, I'd storm out the house all fucking pissed off. And then I would punch my car door. And then I'd get out of it later. Once I calmed down, I'd be like, oh, look at this fucking thing.
well, how did, aside from the damage that you caused, how did you react to the pain or the, whatever it is that you experienced physically to go, man, I should have never done that?
Nah, never even. No, I was just
wow.
It was always just like, oh, fuck. It never was like, well, that's a lesson learned. I won't do that again. It was definitely more of
you didn't do a Joe Rogan. This was a teachable moment.
No, there was no teachable moment. It was just like, honestly, most of the time it was more of a, man, I wish she would stop making me so fucking mad.
Is that it?
Yeah, there would be no blame on myself.
You had to heap the blame on somebody else for your actions.
Absolutely. I wasn't going to put it on myself. I wasn't going to say
narcissist asshole.
Yeah, I was not going to lie.
All right. Well, as I said, if you watch this series, it doesn't make any sense to me personally. It's just like, well, you couldn't even afford the gas in your car, but somehow you're affording a air compressor and a spray gun and automotive spray paint, and you're spraying your work van to disguise yourself.
Right.
And then not only then, but he spent a month observing the activities that go on at Tommy Lee's house, observing when the work crews came and left, and when Tommy Lee came and left, and when people went to sleep. And how the security cameras worked and all this.
Yeah.
It's just like, and then he's meeting up with his friend at some some restaurant bar, and that's the other thing. His friend, not that this has any bearing on the situation, but his friend is like this black guy, and he's always sipping on foo-foo drinks with these coconut drinks with these umbrellas
Right.
and these these pineapple slices and all this other stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, what the fuck are you drinking?
Yeah, no, some weird bullshit.
And even
I'll take a Mai Tai.
yeah, even at home, this guy was drinking some kind of a foo-foo drink at home.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell is going on there?
Hey, look at that. See, I'm not alone here. I'm not alone at all. It happens, dude.
I'm just going to have to take your word for it, because I think that would only happen once. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, no, it happens. It definitely happens.
but so for the Hulu, series, Pam and Tommy,
yeah.
those are a couple of goofy anomalies.
Sure.
That happen. It's like, how did this guy get some money? This guy couldn't even afford the gas to get to the job site.
Right.
What is he living on?
Yeah. Fumes.
It just doesn't make any sense. And then and we'll get to the whole dick thing in a minute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then he has this crush on this quote unquote this lesbian porn star.
Yeah.
Who apparently he was married to.
I think he was married to her at some point.
And they got divorced by irreconcilable differences or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he couldn't let it go forever, and he was pining away for her, and she was living with her lesbian lover chick, and he was trying to figure out some way to get back into her life. And
right. And he thought this porn tape was it.
It's just so convoluted.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's the bottom line is it's shady people doing shady shit is, I think, the moral to the story.
Yeah, it's just a fucking, yeah. If it were me, I think I would have done myself in years ago if this is what my life amounted to.
Yeah.
And the thing is I can't, and I know that it exists. I know that it exists, that are people out there who live, I'm going to use a term here, meaningless existence.
Sure.
Because they're just so dull.
Yeah.
In their way of living or thinking or existing. It's just like, dude, you should have never been born.
Yeah. Well, do you know? I mean, and you may not know it, and I doubt you're going to watch the other 3 episodes. So I have no problem.
I'll watch them. I'll watch them out of morbid curiosity.
Sure.
Because it's so lame.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you in real life how this story plays out.
Okay.
Not only does the plan not work, but the Nick Offerman guy and the Seth Rogen guy in real life ended up so indebted to the mob. They didn't get any of the money. And they ended up so indebted to the mob that the guy that was the Seth Rogen character ended up having to do fucking beatdowns on people for fucking as a collection guy for the mob.
Nice.
Because he got so in debt. So this movie made $77 million and he got nothing. Nothing, because it got bootlegged so much. It got bootlegged, and then Vivid just started putting it out. And, I think, I don't remember how Vivid was able to put it out, but I think because it was so everywhere,
right?
Like Pam or Tommy or both.
It kind of became public domain almost.
Yeah, but I think somehow they signed some release to let Vivid officially do it. I could be wrong on this, but if I remember right, I think they signed something with Vivid so that they could make something off it because it was out there so prevalently anyway. So Vivid paid them, a few $1 million to have the official rights to it, and then Vivid made a bunch of money off of it.
Well, the obvious thing, if you watch this, the series, this thing was like a perfect storm, because this all happened at the very early part of the internet.
Yeah.
And, they were trying to capitalize on the availability of the internet, because this was 1996.
5, 6, yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
And so the internet was very, very, very early.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were the Seth Rogen character was trying to market this thing via the internet.
Yeah. And clearly himself didn't understand it at all, because how many times did he say, you could put it out there and it's untraceable. No one could know who you are. Right. No one could know where you can. And that was just bullshit even then.
Because he didn't understand IPs and all that other shit, because they just thought it was like a Wild West.
Yeah, exactly.
Free for all and whatnot. But it was very ugly. And the thing is what I find funny, from your personal account.
Yeah.
What year did you personally purchase this thing?
I bought it from Vivid, not from the guy.
Well, that's what I'm asking. What year?
Probably 96-ish, maybe.
All right.
I mean, I didn't get the bootleg one with the taped together cover and all that. I got a professional one, but
all right.
It would have been probably like 96, I guess.
And let me ask you, what prompted you to go, I need to buy this thing?
Because back in that day, we didn't have the high-speed internet yet.
Well, I agree. But my point is what enticed you enough to go, I need to plunk down a few bucks to get this thing?
I just wanted it. I mean, dude, it was Pamela Anderson.
All right.
For me, if Pamela if Pam was in a movie, I got the movie.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't necessarily buy them all, but like I'm one of the few that still remembers her stellar roles in movies such as Naked Souls.
All right.
Which by the way, and I'll put that out there for anybody, if you want to see the best Pam Anderson naked scene other than the Pam and Tommy video, it's in Naked Souls, where she's laying in a vat of I don't know what you call that shit, clay or something.
Okay.
And this guy is just mushing clay all over her tits and pussy and shit. Oh, it is a fucking tremendous scene. It's definitely worth watching. And then there's another scene where she's fucked up against a fucking fence and her tits are just pounded on the fucking fence. Oh my God. It's fucking fantastic.
All right.
But anything Pam did at that time, I was finding a way to at least see it, whether it was a Playboy shoot or, any of the movies that she did, Barbed Wire, Naked Souls, somebody put in Snapdragon, all of these fucking movies.
I've never seen any one of these.
Of course not, because these are shit movies. These aren't the kind of movies you would check out.
No, I've never even seen Barbed Wire.
Barbed Wire wasn't very good either.
Well, I'm not saying it was good, but I've never even seen it.
That intro to Barbed Wire where she's kind of swinging around on the rope and they're throwing water at her naked tits. Oh, that's a fucking great scene. That's a great scene, man.
All right. Well, again, the only redeeming quality of this Pam and Tommy on Hulu is the fact that they cast some girl who does a really good job at imitating Pam Anderson.
Oh, yeah. And she looks amazing.
She does. She's got this little small waist, this fantastic ass, these nice big jugs.
Oh,
big happy smile, nice hair. She looks like Pam Anderson from a quarter century ago.
Yeah. Kenya in the chat room, that show VIP, bad but great, but bad but great. I'm with them. And I just watched that. It's on I think it's on Crackle right now. And I watched it just because Pam was in it back in her time.
All right.
I loved Pam. I still love Pam.
Now, what status today, 25, almost 30 years later,
yeah,
does a Pam Anderson have today?
the way she looks today, or all time, or at her best?
Say what is her cachet? What is her value today, as far as like being cast in like a movie or
none
public interest or anything?
There's some public interest. Old guys like me that have fucking given gallons of cum to fucking her image.
Okay,
will still go out and meet her at a Comic-Con or something.
But is that where she's at? Is that the level she's at, where she's at a Comic-Con now?
I think she's made a lot of money and she doesn't need it. I mean, don't forget, she's been married several times.
Well, I agree.
To rich guys that have paid her well to fucking walk away.
Okay. So how old is Pam today? Is she 50 something?
She's probably my age. Let me look. Pam Anderson. Let's see. Wiki. It's a year older than me. 54.
All right. So Pam Anderson is 54 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So what is her marketable value today for whether it's TV, movies, personal appearances, anything?
She's not. I mean, she's one of these people that'll pop up on like Dancing with the Stars or The Masked Singer or some shit like that. She's not gonna, she's not in any movies or anything. Nothing of note.
All right.
I'm looking right now at her movies that she's done. Here's the last 10 years. So 2010, from 2010 till now, 12 years. Costa Rican Summer, Hollywood and Wine, The Commuter Julia, Jackhammer, What Are Men Doing Too, Unity, The People Garden, The Baywatch Movie, The Institute, SPF 18, and Nicky Larson et la Perfume de Cupidon. That's her last 12 years.
All right.
And now I'm looking at, hold on, I'm going to go to her TV stuff too. In the last 12 years of TV. Wow, I did not know this, but Dancing with the Stars.
All right.
She was actually on that.
All right.
Belando 2011, which is an Argentinian reality show.
Okay.
Yalan Dunya, I'm sure you watched that, right? That was on Turkish TV. RuPaul's Drag Race, VIP Brother 4 in Bulgaria, America's Book of Secrets, I Get a Lot, Celebrity Juice, Dancing on Ice, The Carrier, Package Deal, Promi Big Brother. Where's that at? That's not our Big Brother. Where's that one? That's in Deutschland.
Germany.
Love Advent. Sir V. Seems like she's doing work out of the country. It's like every other thing is like, here's one. Dance avec les Stars. Dancing with the Stars in France. The French version. Piers Morgan's Life Stories. That's just showing up on an episode. The Hills New Beginnings. Was that reality show, I think? And Loose Women. Britain. So everything she's doing is out of the country.
All right.
Yeah, she's not. She's not. I'm looking at her awards. She's nominated 1, 2, 3 times for the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actress. She won it once, and she was nominated 2 other times. And then she was nominated for the Stinker's Bad Award for her role in Scooby-Doo. And then she was nominated in Stacked, another show I kind of liked, actually, for the Teen Choice Awards.
Right.
But yeah, she Stacked was actually pretty good. It was kind of, she worked in a bookstore, but the guys just wanted to fuck her. So it was just guys talking all kinds of shit about how hot she was and how they wanted to bang her. So I was into Stacked. I actually liked that one.
All right. All right. Well, getting back to the Pam and Tommy show or series on Hulu. Now let's get to the coup de grace.
Okay.
Of the 3 episodes that are currently available.
Right.
So Go right ahead. I'll let you just launch right into this.
The dick.
Yes.
I mean, just I don't even know how to bridge this. There's a scene in this show.
Yes.
That it's Tommy Lee having a conversation with his dick.
Yep. He and his cock are having a talk.
Yeah. And it is to me, it might be the most disturbing thing I have seen in even in porn that I watch.
Right.
This is far more disturbing than even porn. This scene was gross. No other way to put it. It was gross.
Well, was it gross because you're a heterosexual man who really doesn't want to see another guy's dick? Or was there something gross outside of that?
I'm going to tell you, I had the same question.
Okay.
So I called my female aficionado on dick. I called Stephanie.
Okay.
And I asked her what she thought of it, and she said the same thing.
All
that
right.
It was absolutely gross and repulsive.
Okay.
Because and her answers are better than mine, so I'll just share what she told me, and she'll probably be mad, but whatever. I know she's listening, or I know John's listening, so she might be. But what she told me was two things. One, the talking to the dick and the dick moving like it was a snake or something, and like it was reacting was vile. That was vile.
Okay.
And then the other thing that was beyond vile was when they went underneath Tommy and took the up shot where you're looking up his dick hole and up his ball bag.
Right.
To see his dick talking.
Right.
It was like, what in the fuck are they thinking? Now, you know, yeah, as a heterosexual guy, I didn't want to see Tommy's dick at all, really, but unless she's doing something to it.
Well, I agree with that point.
But it was really, really uncomfortable when, like, the part where he goes, oh, you know, or the dick was saying to him, and I can't even believe I'm saying this. The dick was saying to him.
Well, in the TV show, it really was saying it to him.
It was the part where the dick was kind of.
Let me frame this a little bit. Then I'll
go ahead. Go ahead.
So Tommy Lee is standing in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Peering into a mirror above the sink.
Mm-hmm.
And Pamela Anderson is passed out in the bed in all her voluptuousness.
Yes.
And Tommy is in a bathroom basically talking into a mirror, but also discussing his current situation with his dick.
Yes.
And he and his dick are basically discussing their future ventures together because Tommy Lee is and I'm going to use a European term here. Tommy Lee is a well-known cocksman,
right?
who's notoriously banged out a bunch of chicks.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some pretty, notable chicks, whether it's, Heather Locklear, obviously, Pamela Anderson, whoever it is he's hooked up with over the years.
Right.
And so his dick is warning him that you don't want to do this because you just got out of a divorce and there's a lot of chicks to bang out there.
Yeah.
And you're going to put me out of a job, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to more strange pussy.
Yeah.
And you're going to sideline me to just this one puss.
Yeah.
And
as good as it might be, it's still just one.
Yeah. And it's just like, dude, you're not ready for this. And it's like, yeah, I am. And it's like, no, you're not. And we got other chicks to bang and you're going to settle on this one. And it's like, yeah, I'm in love, dude.
But what you're not telling in this part is that with each reaction, there's a dick movement.
Yeah, the dick.
Like the dick is shrugging. The dick is like peering around the corner and shit.
Yeah, it's looking up at him.
Yeah.
And the dick hole is actually the mouth.
Yeah.
And the dick hole is actually moving like a mouth, like it's speaking to Tommy. Now, mind you, the missing component here between you and I is that Tommy and Pamela were both high on X at this point. So this scenario was a drug related scene where Tommy was quote unquote supposedly still high on X.
Sure.
When this was going on. So this was sort of like a imaginary scene.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, in the series, he's sitting there and his dick is moving around, shaking its head, agreeing, disagreeing, wagging back and forth, talking to him. It's a talking dick.
There's a talking dick, and it was repulsive. You know, I have no other way to put it. The part where he's talking to his dick about the dick is saying, well, what about Heather? She was great. You know what? And he's like, she was too conservative. And the dick's kind of like shaking its head. Yes. It's like, what am I watching here?
Right. So the dick in reality was a separate entity from Tommy.
Yeah.
It had a mind of its own, as we've probably heard over the decades, that your dick has a mind of its own. Well, in this, this drug related scene where Tommy is actually having a discussion with his dick.
Yeah.
This dick has a mind of its own. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You're going to settle on this one? Yeah. Holy shit, we got lots of chicks to bang. I'm ready to go to work here. And you're sidelining me to this one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in love, dude, or whatever, brah. I'm in love, brah. Yeah. This is the one. She's the one. Oh, come on. You've said that before. Let's go out. Let's go bang some chicks. Come on, let's get some pussy.
Yeah. And I can see the first time you're fucking Pamela Anderson that even if you've had a million hot chicks that you might be like, oh, this is fucking special. Certainly. I look, Tommy Lee been with some great puss.
Yes,
no question.
Has.
No question. And Pam was probably the hottest of all of them at that moment. So I could see where he would have that thought of this is the one. There's never going to be something hotter than this.
Right.
When you, I mean, think about it from his perspective, if you can. When you've had Heather Locklear in her prime, and now you're staring at something probably 5 to 10 times better, you got to be like, it just can't keep exponentially getting better than this.
Right. How can you top that?
Yeah. And I mean, even now, Tommy is downgraded like 50 times compared to the Pam time.
Well, and Tommy's 60 years old too.
Yeah, but still his chick is not anything close to Pam greatness.
Of course not.
I mean, I understand it, but I didn't need to see that scene. That scene was, and admittedly, smartly, well played by Hulu. Everyone is talking about the Tommy Lee dick scene.
Yeah, he's standing there talking to his dick.
Yeah, nobody's really focusing. I've read a bunch of articles about this thing because I wanted to see if I was the only one that hated it. And quite honestly, nobody's talking about the movie or the series. Yeah. They're only talking about the dick scene.
And why is that? Because it's the most shocking
shock
part
value
of the movie.
Yeah.
Much like comedians, whether it's Sam Kinison or whatever, they said something shocking.
Yeah. And the real question is, are we going to get another talking dick scene later in the fucking movie?
And my opinion is no.
You don't think so? Maybe. I don't know.
I think that was the one and only, I don't know. I'm not going to say the shocking scene, but that's been there, done that. All right. The talking dick scene. All right. We're not doing that again.
Yeah. And they may not. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see in 3 weeks, but I mean, it was the scene itself made me just like, this is it took what was already bad and made it bad and stupid. and that really, it really annoyed me that, look, I love porn. I'm not somebody that's going to be grossed out by pretty much anything. I'm not going to be. And this shit was really just gross.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that they can somehow excuse that this was a drug sequence.
Yeah, I guess, but
you know, he wasn't really standing there having a conversation with his dick. He just imagined that.
Yeah. You know, it's a gross scene. It really is a fucking gross scene.
How do you think they did that? Do you think that was CGI?
No, it was prosthetic. It was like a puppet thing.
Yeah.
That's I read about it. They did it through like puppeteering, the penis puppet.
Could you imagine being the guy with that on your resume that I was the guy who worked the penis puppet on the Pam and Tommy Hulu thing?
Yeah, here's my credit on IMDb. Tommy's talking dick in Pam and Tommy.
Exactly.
I played the head. Great. Hey, here I am. Give me a job because I was Tommy Lee Shaft.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
So dumb.
Yeah, I mean, woof. You took a bad movie and you put in some absurd bullshit and made it even more bad. It just, I don't know, dude. It just, looking at both, and we'll just keep it in the Motley Crue family. What's worse, Tommy Lee or Pam and Tommy or The Dirt?
Well, The Dirt wasn't good. I didn't enjoy The Dirt. Again, it was the whole reenactment.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. This is apples to apples here.
Yeah. Yeah. It in my opinion, and that's funny you bring that up because I thought the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's on par. It's the same thing. Yeah. It's just like we're reenacting something that actually may or may not have happened.
Yeah. They should have brought that guy in to be Tommy in this thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Instead of a guy that's 5'5". What the fuck were they doing? That bothered me more than anything. This little stumpy guy being Tommy Lee. You know, and every time they show him and Pam together, Pam's the same height as him.
Well, and you know what's really funny is that in this series, no matter where Tommy showed up, whether it was in public or at home or whatever, he always had eyeliner on.
Oh yeah, always.
Every scene, at home or no matter what he was doing, he had eyeliner. So it's like, do you wear eyeliner 24/7 no matter where you go?
Well, that was in his hip hop day. So that kind of was his look at that point. Remember he was showing up at the gigs with the face paint.
But even in his private moments at home,
I think he was. I think that was his deal, dude. He was down with the street.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up. The other weird thing is, and I know Tommy is kind of like a free spirit and shocking and everything.
Yeah.
Do you think a normal dude, and not that Tommy's a normal dude because we all know that's not the case. Mm-hmm. This guy shows up with a G-string, talking to the construction crew that are doing a renovation on his house.
Yeah.
Every time he came out down to talk to these guys, he's almost naked, wearing a G-string. Now, it's like, does any normal dude go, yeah, I'm going to go in front of some construction dudes and be wearing just a G-string?
Well, I mean, if you, again, dude, you got to think back to that time period. And if you remember, that was Tommy on stage in front of 20,000 people.
I guess.
And that was Tommy. That was always Tommy's MO, was that he was always, even if you listen to Quaternary, it's Quaternary, I think. There's the one song that starts out with them yelling about, you don't work in a bank and this and that. And the guy said, and I think Nikki yells, play naked. Because Tommy's like, I don't want to wear pants. And Nikki's like, play naked. He goes, okay. You hear it in the album.
All right.
So I honestly think, with Tommy, I think that was his deal. He didn't want to wear clothes.
All right.
He wanted that big fucking hedgehog out and swinging all the fucking time.
All right.
I think so.
I'm just going to take I wasn't there. Obviously, whoever wrote the script for this series,
Abomination.
I don't know. I don't know where they got all the details, or if they just, made up the details, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But if you have Hulu, which I do not, Chris was very kind enough to, let me into his Hulu account to see this,
garbage.
But if you have it, we'll watch the next 3 episodes and maybe, come back with the finale.
Yeah, we'll come back in a month once it's all done, and we'll have another review.
But so far, just garbage.
Well, why don't we do this? This will be everybody's homework. Everybody can watch the whole series with us, and I'm going to ask that everybody also rewatch The Dirt. That's on what, Netflix? I think
it's on Netflix currently. Yes. Everybody
rewatch The Dirt and watch Netflix, and we'll convene after the final episode of Pam and Tommy airs the next Saturday, and we'll talk about it, but we'll also take calls and have some compare and contrast with the fans about what they think of Pam and Tommy versus The Dirt.
Right.
Because I would like to have that. And you know what? Why don't we make this fun? We'll do something the week before where we'll tell people that we'll give them the link, and we'll let people be on the video with us if they want.
All right, that's fine.
That could be fun.
Yeah, sure.
That'll be fun, and see what people think, and and hopefully it doesn't turn into a disaster, but I guess we'll see.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up another edition of the Classic Metal Show. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in. We want to thank our good friend Ron Keel for checking in with us. Check out his new ventures with his radio station and his
good point. Hold on one second, Neeley. I'm going to go back to our point.
All right.
Good point. Black Lives Matter in the chat room. I would encourage everybody to go to Pornhub and watch the porn tape as well. Let's get it all on the table here. Watch the porn tape, and watch the rest of Pam and Tommy, and watch The Dirt, and we'll kind of mix and match all of it together.
All right.
That could be fun.
Sure, it could.
And I wish we could show scenes from any of this shit, but we can't. Dude, because I thought about it tonight. I thought about just not even doing this on YouTube tonight. But then even Rumble and stuff have things against porn. Like Rumble and Odyssey and everything is like anti-porn.
Okay.
And even though it's a prosthetic, would that be considered porn? I don't know if it would or it wouldn't, and I just didn't want to take the chance of us blowing up our Odyssey and bitching channels.
I get it. Well, everybody can go check it out for themselves, and we'll reconvene on this, later.
Right. Listen, Kenya in the chat room, and then go listen to Generation Swine. We're not going to go that far.
Right.
No, absolutely not. All right, let's get out of here.
All right. I'm going to let you pick a departing song. So what should we play?
Get Naked by Tommy Lee, Methods of Mayhem.
Oh boy.
If we're talking about this shit, how do we not end with that song?
Right.
The Methods of Mayhem, $77 million made to watch me come.
Ooh,
the sun, my vacation.
Just awful.
It's terrible, but why not? It's perfect ending to this segment, isn't it?
Yeah. What album is that on? Is that on Tommy Land?
No, it's on Methods of Mayhem, not Tommy Lee.
Oh, okay. Let me
look up Methods of Mayhem.
All right. You look that up. Methods of
Mayhem.
There it is. Let's see here. Methods of
Mayhem.
I got it.
And make sure you get the one with the E on it, not the censored one.
Right. Oh, there it is. Get Naked.
There it is.
All right. Well, if you're down for some, 80s rocker doing rap shit.
Yeah, here it is.
We're going to end the show with this. So appreciate everybody who's tuned in tonight. So, We'll be back next Saturday. We'll do this thing all over again. So this is Neeley along with my very good friend,
Chris Hagan.
We're gone.
Bye, kids.
Thanks for checking out this episode of The Classic Metal Show. Get all of our episodes uncensored at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. Join us weekly from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Eastern at www.cmsradio.net. Participate in the live chat room at www.chatandkill.com. Once again, thank you for checking out The Classic Metal Show with Neeley and Chris. Hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand job!
Hey, this is Monty Colvin from the band Galactic Cowboys and from Monty's Rockcast, inviting you to watch my new video show here on Heavy Metal Television called Art That Rocks. I'll be painting rock stars from start to finish while I tell some cool stories. It's Friday night at 8 p.m. no matter where you are. Once again, the name of the show is Art That Rocks.
In the beginning, there was... Oh, wait, let me fix it. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's not good.